Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today with Popcorn with a Professional. My name is Tammy Trujillo. I'm a health-related professions program advisor. I'm here to help facilitate and moderate this breakout room. We're joined by representatives from our programs in biology, English, history, social services, and psychology. We don't have Nancy here for fashion design, but we do have her contact information. So if you wanted more information, you can always reach out to her. Are there any students who have like their bowls out with their popcorn by chance? So I can put you in that raffle and you can feel free to turn on your camera if any of you have that. So I can take that screenshot. Anybody? If not, that's completely fine. Okay, so we can go ahead and get started here. We're going to start off with biology. Take it away.
Hello and welcome. So I am Alexandra Armstrong. I am our department head for biology, and that is a program that underlies an awful lot of things because we are, of course, all alive, and biology is the study of all living things and all of their different components. So we have classes in environmental biology. We have a lot of courses that focus on human biology, so pre-medicine, anatomy and physiology, infectious disease, a lot of topics that are showing up in the news right now, things like COVID and climate change have a lot to do with biology. So we're definitely a diverse science. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Perfect, thank you. And next is English.
Hi everyone, I'm Elliot and I am representing the English department today. So English is a big umbrella term that covers a couple of different fields or possibilities that you might be interested in. So of course, almost everyone that comes through Pima has taken courses like Writing 101 and 102, and that's really kind of the foundation for writing at Pima College. But we also offer journalism, literature and creative writing courses. So I always kind of say, if you're interested in language, if you're interested in storytelling, if you're interested in the connections between language and culture or language and power, we're really the kind of field or discipline for that. And so, you know, as broad as our offerings are between literature, writing, creative writing, and journalism, you have a lot of opportunities in those various realms to do almost anything you want to with an English degree. So of course, you're looking at one of them. I, of course, teach English. There's also great opportunities in publishing and in literary production. As well as Tammy pointed out in the last session, that English grads are more likely than any other field to get into medical school. So, you know, lots of lawyer friends through English. So just depending on what your goals are, you know, all that emphasis on really reading and delving into language and its kind of complexities and outreach to our culture and to our world. Kind of, you know, set us up to do great things out in the world. So that's my spiel for English. And I, of course, look forward to any questions that you might have after we kind of rotate through.
Perfect. Thank you, Elliot, for sharing that. And now we're moving on to history.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kimlisa Duchisella, and I am a history professor here at Pima. And I want to tell you that history at Pima, or really any community college or university, is very different than history that you took in high school. Because a lot of students are like, oh, I took it in high school, it was horrible. I had to memorize every president's name, and it was just the worst thing ever. We do not make you memorize the president's names. We figure you can Google that. History is actually a really great discipline to get into because history teaches us the patterns of society, of civilizations, of humans, and it lets us look into the lives of those who came before us. It also allows us to see those patterns today. So if you know your history and you look around in the news today, things that are going around today, you might think to yourself, wow, this sounds familiar to me. Maybe I should think about this. It allows us to prepare. Knowing the past allows us to prepare for the future. I am, and history comes in a variety of packages. There's all kinds of history. There's Western history, there's modern, there's ancient, there's by area. I am a Latin Americanist. So I focus on Latin American history, and my specialty happens to be the Andean countries. That picture behind me is in Lima, Peru. And you can see modern art there, and you can see a huge, massive church behind me, a Catholic church that's been there for many, many, many hundreds of years. And so really, that's what I'm all about. So you don't have to study all of history. You don't have to take, part 1 before you take part 2. You can take any course you want in history. Although some of them require, because they're intensive writing courses, some of them are require you to take Writing 101, but there are several history courses that are also for the AJAC, for those of you that might be working on the AJAC. They take care of your global, your cultural, and your intensive writing in one class, so the ICGs. So I invite you to look at history, whether you're thinking about majoring in it or you just need to take an elective course. I think you'll find that it is not your high school history course. So that's my spiel. And if you have any questions, I'm right here.
Thank you, Kim Lisa. Moving on to social services and psychology.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Kelly Rose. I'm the Director for Psychology and Social Services. And at Pima, we have about 12 classes in psychology that you can choose from if you have an interest in studying psychology and maybe would like to get a Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science in psychology. And we have, of course, an intro course 101, and we also have a gender course, we have a cultural psychology course, and we have one on death and loss. So a lot of options there. If you're really interested in psychology, I definitely recommend that you start with 101. And if you would like to get a Bachelor of Science eventually in psychology, for sure you will want to take 230, which is statistics, and 289, which is research methods. We have a lot of options as far as the method you can take for that: online, virtual, in-person, and hybrid classes at all campuses. Our social services department, I happen to be sitting in the ARC Resource Center and Food Pantry right now. And that's part of our social services program, is we operate 2 food pantries, one at West Campus, one at Desert Vista Campus. As a social services student, you could have the opportunity to volunteer and help out in these 2 locations where we provide food bags for students and also resources for other community agencies that they might need. And as you've probably noticed during the past 2 years, mental health and just navigating the world has been more difficult than ever, and people are struggling to adjust to all of these things that have happened with the pandemic in the past 2 years. And so we need people who are interested and in the helping professions in both psychology and social services. Social services is one of the fastest growing fields right now. The need is great. We say we're in the business of educating social workers, but you can start with our certificate program, which is 24 credits. And in that certificate, you'll get an introduction to trauma-informed care, to group dynamics, to case report writing, and basics of ethics and social services foundational work. So it's a really good introduction if you're interested in helping folks. And I would say start with SSE 110 and also Psychology 101. We have a lot of opportunities within social services. We have, like I said, the certificate. We also have an AAS degree if you are interested in direct employment and starting out as a behavioral health tech or a psych tech. And we also have an AA for transfer, which is a direct transfer to ASU School of Social Work. And there are many opportunities to get scholarships to get your BSW and your MSW. And starting at Pima is a great place to begin. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, we don't have Nancy Spalding from Fashion Design, but if you were interested, her email is listed as nspalding@pima.edu. Right now, we're going to open it up for questions. Christy, Paige, and Carla, is there any specific areas that you were interested in, or what's your intended program of study? You can unmute yourself, or you can put it in the chat. So Paige is interested in history.
Yay. I'm happy to hear that. Do you have any questions for me, Paige? Anything I can help you with? No pressure. You don't have to have questions, just so you know.
I don't have any right at this moment, but I'm sure I will have some in the future.
Well, feel free to always reach out to me.
Okay.
Christy, Carla, what's your area of program? What program study are you interested in? Carla's interested in English. Did you have any questions for Elliot, Carla? Not right now. Okay. And then Christy, what area were you interested in? So we have a question from Kelly. So she says she registered for the spring semester yesterday, so that's awesome. She was veering away from a general concentration and looking into social services. How does she go about volunteering for the food pantry?
Oh, great. Okay, I'm reading, Christy. So we have a Google page and I can put the link to it. Hopefully I can make this happen here in the chat, and that gives you all the information about the ARC Pantry and Resource Center, including how to get started in volunteering. We can also be found on the Pima Engage, which is a site where all of the Pima groups, clubs, activities, other student activities are listed. And you can find that in your My Pima account under student services. Let me see if I can get this link put in here. There is a process, of course, for volunteering. And so I can get that information to you, and you can always email me as well. Thank you so much. Okay, veer away from general concentration, social services. Great. Okay. I'll put it in the chat.
And don't forget to be getting their contact information if you wanted more. Carla Elliott put her contact information there as well. And there's also other areas within English that you can explore, such as creative writing, journalism, and literature. So pretty great areas. I feel like journalism has changed vastly because of electronics. And how is it nowadays, Elliot, with journalism?
Well, so fun fact, I think Terry's in the other room right now talking about a new media pathway that we have going, which is, yeah, journalism has changed so much that sometimes even just calling it journalism, what we do is, is shifting. So just thinking of like new ways to think about news, new ways to convey and, to cultivate and convey it. So yeah, I won't steal her thunder, but some really great stuff coming on. So if you guys are interested, definitely check out Terry for repping for the communications program and that new pathway. But yeah, was just talking with our journalism lead the other day, and she's just kind of beside herself with keeping up with changes to keep constantly making our content relevant with all of the ongoing changes that are occurring in the field. So it's, we always have to keep up with those, kind of workforce changes. And what does that mean? So she's been pretty busy lately. So.
Wow, that's awesome though. That's cool. It's ever evolving, so that's really neat. And don't forget, Kelly put that link to volunteer if you are interested in those for additional resources with the Resource Center. The link's at the very top of that site if you were interested in the volunteering section. Are there any further questions, Christy, Paige, Carla?
Not at this time.
Okay, thanks, Paige. Not at the moment. Okay, thanks, Christy. So Elliot also put in the chat that she also is here for honors as well as TK, which is Phi Theta. What's the case? I'm so sorry. Kappa, there it is. Advisor. So if you are interested in any of those, reach out to Elliot too.
It's not my official responsibility here today, but I'm always glad to talk about the honors program. So especially because I see folks, talking about volunteering and things like that. That's a big part of the honors program. So if you're interested in getting more involved in service activities or volunteerism, both at Pima College and in our community, we have a lot of opportunities available. So, and we work with you if you want to develop something, you see us missing out and you want to develop something.
Great, thank you, Elliot. So we do offer a ton of support and resources, so don't be shy when you're reaching out for all of this information. We're going to hang out for a few more minutes. I believe we shift at noon. Let me stop recording.